Sosa launches deep to right field, back and gone! Alex Sosa with a 3-run home run. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. Alan Slaughterzinski with you here tonight. And just because it's football season, that doesn't mean we don't have the right to talk about other sports. And tonight, I've got one of the best catchers in Brevard County. I always say this county is catching blessed, and it really, really is. And I've got just one of the best, not just in Brevard County, but try in the country. Because when we talk about some of the things that he has done this summer and he is on his way to do tomorrow night at this time on ESPN U, you will be watching my next guest play in the Under Armour Baseball Factory All-American game. And I'm pretty sure I screwed that up, but they get the gist of it. Please help me welcome here to the beautiful downtown Brevard Network studios, Mr. Alex Sosa. I have to introduce you that way, my friend. A whirlwind of a summer for you. Talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about the specifics of it. Have you even been to school yet?
Yeah, so I haven't even checked into school yet. I'll be in there next week, Thursday. But yeah, no, it's been amazing this summer. We've been traveling everywhere, meeting all these new kids, and even traveling with some of these Brevard guys. I mean, there were six Brevard kids on my travel team, and so playing with them, it's always a lot of fun. And yeah, it's been an amazing summer.
Now, last week, from August the 7th until the 11th, you spent the week, you and your dad spent the week in beautiful San Diego for the area code games, where you were on the national squad and played out there at Petco Park in San Diego. Is it still called Petco Park?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Petco Park in Talk about that experience. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, playing with guys from Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas. Those are all the kids that are on my team. And, it was crazy. All the, just the environment and, just being like, at the end of the day, the goal is to, play in the MLB, and that's kind of like, it was like a little preview of it. So it was super cool.
When you walked out up through look, here's the thing that unless you've ever been in a major league dugout and you walk up those steps, even if you're not a baseball, even as a member of the media, when I've done this, you dream, right? You walk out of the clubhouse and you walk up those steps, and there it is. I don't care what MLB park you're at, okay? What was that first emotion, whether it was at Petco Park or the first time you ever played in a Major League Baseball stadium? What was that experience? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, no, the first thing that goes through my mind is just wow, like, seeing all the people and, the fans and just knowing like wow, like I'm about to play here, like and just thinking about all the people that have played here in the past.
Right.
And it's definitely super cool. But I've been fortunate enough to play at the USSSA Space Coast Stadium for all of our home games. And so that's like a Major League Stadium itself, so that's been super exciting.
Yeah, but isn't that a little bit of a spoiler? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? To be able to play. Look, it's a great. We wish every Brevard County team would play there, but for the broadcasting purposes of it. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I forgot about that. Playing at Space Coast Stadium. We're here with Alex Sosa of the Viera Hawks. And Alex, so kind of take me through, before we talk about some of the specifics of these games, and kind of take me through the process, because sports, when you're as good as you are at it, it's a year-round thing. There's no doubt. And you have really become one of the elite catchers, which there aren't a lot in this country. There just aren't. You look around, catching is a position that there's just, it's not like the outfield. It's not like middle infield, So take me through the process of baseball 24/7, 365. How, at your age, because I could never dream of playing baseball. I love the sport, or football or hockey or whatever I played. I couldn't dream of doing it year round. Talk about that.
Yeah, no. So it's definitely a lot of hard work. Wake up. Got to eat. Eating's important. The
Even at your
nutrition
age,
side.
it's important.
Yeah, no. Eating's important, and then you got to work out, and you got to hit. You got to hit every day in the cages. Throwing's big. Long tossing. We go to the football fields over there at the rec fields, and we're throwing. Me and my dad, we're throwing the football field, seeing how far I can throw each day. And that's definitely important for arm strength and all that. But there's definitely a lot that goes into it, and you have to work every day.
Now, I want to talk about your family because you are an extremely close-knit family. I love your dad, your mom, your sister, outstanding volleyball player. It takes a sacrifice to do what you do. Talk about that and how you, as a family, you manage that.
Yeah, so I mean, usually my dad will travel with me and my mom with my sister. But my sister's been traveling a lot too with volleyball, and her team, she's pretty good, and her team's really good. But yeah, no, it's tough sometimes, just like with the family being split. But I mean, we're all supporting each other, like all the live streams. My mom's watching all the live streams of me, and when they live stream her games, we try to watch as much as we can too, it's important. And then when we are together, we try to practice with each other. I know we're always playing volleyball in the house and stuff like that.
It's competitive, right? It's a competitive household, right?
Yes, sir.
I love it. I love it. And we're going to talk, of course, if you don't know, and I guess let's just segue into that. I've never seen anybody stick to a commitment when they committed as a sophomore. Or actually as a freshman. You committed as a 2020. It's hard to believe 2020 was 2 years. Thank God. It was 2 years ago. But you committed to NC State as a freshman. You bleed Wolfpack. How did that come to be?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously I'm from Florida, but I was talking to a lot of Florida schools, and I didn't feel that connection. I was raised in Miami, so I had a little connection to like Miami, and I don't know, there was just something about it that when I started talking to NC State, I started doing my research about NC State. I read a lot about the coaches, watched a lot of videos about the coaches, and it's just like it just clicked. Something just clicked, and I feel like that's the place for me.
You still go through. I mean, I know people still want you and are hoping the commit flips, but it's remained steadfast. How much has that taken off? Because a lot of guys that are as talented as you are going through this recruiting process, and it wears on you. It really does. How much of a relief is it to have that behind you, ready to go into your senior season coming up, focused on just baseball?
Yeah, no, I mean it's nice, and we've created like that family feeling. Whenever we're in North Carolina, we'll go to NC State, and we'll walk around, and all the coaches know me, and it's definitely a lot of. I think it's important. I think it's important to have that, just because when I finally do get there, I'll just feel that much more like at home.
You got to go check out the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm a hockey fan. I lived in Charlotte for a while. The Triangle area is phenomenal. I love it up there. I said I'd go back in a minute if the right opportunity presented. No, I wouldn't. I'd stay here. It's too much. I love these kids here in Brevard County. But it's a great area, great sports town. And you are right in the thick of the NC State, the North Carolina, and Duke. Those baseball games get pretty intense on a Friday night between any combination of those three schools. Have you ever been to one?
Yeah, no. So I mean, we have a friend that went to Wake Forest and all that, and we've gone. Like I've gone to Wake, and yeah, no, the people they try to. You either got to be one or the other. You can't really be both.
No.
They make you.
It's
you choose.
red, sky blue, or dark blue. One of the three. Pick it and stay with it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. We're here with Alex Sosa, senior catcher for the Viera Hawks. Let's get off baseball for a minute before we get back there. How weird does it sound to hear senior Alex Sosa? Because I remember freshman Alex Sosa like it was yesterday. I can imagine how your parents feel. How weird does it feel to hear that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gone by fast, but one thing I never forget was my freshman year, I actually played shortstop.
Yeah.
And so that was special to me. That was definitely cool. And, a lot of coaches that I talk to, like college coaches, that's kind of how they remember me. Every time I see them, like, oh, this kid played shortstop his freshman year. And so I think it's cool. But, yeah, no, it's gone by super fast, and it's been a lot of fun. And, I've been thankful to, play for the Doties and all that. And, they want the best for all of us. And, they want us to win. They want us to get back to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
and it's important. That's what you need.
Well, you had some kid behind the plate named Espinal, right? Back then, back when
Yeah.
just some kid named Espinal, was a pretty good catcher, real good catcher. When you look around this county, well, you know what? Let me go back to the senior thing real quick. What are you looking forward to the most? Not on the field. And by the time you graduate, look, the Melbourne softball team this year had a decision to make. That decision was, would they graduate or would they play in a regional final game, right? So, with as good as your team is, there's a very real possibility that something like that could happen down the road. But I'll ask you this, save that if it should ever come that way. Let me ask you this. Out of all of these senior activities that you get to do, the graduation, the prom, the grad bash, or I think is what it's called, what are you looking forward to the most away from baseball as a high school senior?
I mean, honestly, I just you said away from baseball, but I want to go back to baseball. I wouldn't mind missing the big senior event. My sophomore year we made it all the way to states. We went to Fort Myers, and that environment, playing in another stadium. It was crazy, and I'd rather go back, and I wouldn't mind missing some senior events.
And that is the dedication of a baseball player, a true blue baseball player. And again, we always stress how are the academics? What will you study at NC State?
At NC State, I'll probably study business. I'll probably
Okay.
get to the business academy.
But the goal for you is to play Major League Baseball. That's the goal, to be drafted to play Major League Baseball. We had Eric Adler recently drafted, sixth round, pick 191 by the Chicago White Sox. For you guys to see a guy like an Eric Adler sign a deal like that, look, sixth round pick, 191, $200,000 contract. That's a nice payday. He's got a lot to work on. He's got a lot to prove to get to the show, and he'll work his way there, no doubt. But what would be your obviously to be drafted? But are you willing to go through the process twice if you're not satisfied with where you're drafted the first time? Is college baseball something you intend to play for 4 years, or does it depend on where you would? Because I'm confident you will be drafted high. What does that depend on for you and your family?
Thank you. College is definitely important to me, and I'm one of those kids that develop later on. If you go back to my freshman year, I'm 5'6", 5'7".
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little guy, and as the years have come along, I've gotten a lot bigger, and I think that I need to continue to develop and all that physically, and to keep getting stronger. And I haven't hit where I haven't got to the top yet, and I think that if in high school, if I got drafted out of high school, if I can't, how do I say this?
It's a tough question, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. But I mean, I don't know. I'd rather, if
it
they
depends,
don't,
right?
If they can't, see where I can be,
Right?
Like if they're going based off now, and they don't, I talk with my family, and when
it sounds like a
can't
family decision.
Yeah, it's definitely a family decision. It's a tough question.
It is.
But no, I mean, I see myself going to NC State, and
I hear you. And that's a great command. And I asked that question because I've asked that question before, and I asked it to another player, and the response that I got was exactly what he ended up doing. And I promised that player at the time that it was an off the record question, but he did exactly what he said, and I could see your commitment. You're a committed person, so. But look, I mean, a first or second round pick. Love you, NC. See you, Wolfpack. No, I'm joking.
No, I mean, it's definitely everything would have to work out. It would definitely come down to like a big family decision. But
sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, the end goal is to go to the MLB, and if everything's right and we think it's a good offer and a good situation, then we'll consider it. But
no doubt. Yeah, what's it mean to see guys over the last couple of years since your freshman season get drafted into Major League Baseball? We had a Denenberg go, a pitcher out of Ogalley's playing in Japan. Obviously, this year Eric Adler, Garcia. How do you feel when you see that?
So I never really became close with any of those guys, but Adler. I caught him during the fall.
Mm-hmm.
I caught some of his bullpens and all that, and he's a good kid. When I go to North Carolina, we've met up with him before.
Nice.
And it's super cool, and I'm super happy for him that that he's taking it one step farther.
Where'd you play? You played Viera or Century Viera, right? Where did you play Little League ball?
No, I never played Little League. I grew up in Miami, and
Okay.
we were traveling since.
You've been
since
you playing
7.
traveling ball forever.
Yeah, we've been traveling since like 7, 8.
Okay. Wow, man, it's been nonstop.
Yeah,
You're
it had
ready.
to stop.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about some of this nonstop stuff coming up here. You're going to Kaufman Stadium in Kansas City. You've been selected as one of the 40 best players in this country to play in a game at Kaufman Stadium. First of all, tell me about that honor.
Yeah, when I got the call, I was super excited, and it's just something you work towards. When you start, when how do I answer this?
You're still blown away.
Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be a really cool experience, and that's something that you work hard for. That's a goal, and when you finally when you reach that goal, it's surreal.
It's important to know about the Under Armour All-American Baseball Factory game coming up, and you'll be able to watch the game. It's at 2:00 at Kaufman Stadium on tomorrow is when it is. This interview is pre-recorded but airing the night before Alex plays. And listen to these numbers. Since the game's inception in 2008, 365 of the 399 draft-eligible players from the Under Armour All-American game have been selected in the Major League Amateur Draft, including 108 first-round picks. That's pretty incredible numbers and really, really good odds. And watching this young man play catcher and emerge as he has, there's no doubt in my mind that I feel he'll be in those 108 first-round picks eventually when he gets into college and plays a year or two, or maybe even blows up in his senior year. When you watch the MLB draft this year, I want to ask you about it. What can you tell me about my Orioles #1 pick, Jackson Holliday?
So I played with him in Jupiter.
Right.
So last year around in the fall time, we played with him, and the kid was a stud. He hit. The swing looked really nice. And that's what they look for. They look for the guys with tools, and good glove, and he's just a good kid. His makeup is really good, and you can't go wrong with Jackson.
Now I'm going to ask you for some advice here because my nephew Sean is a catcher, and he's a good one, and he's doing the camp circuit up in Maryland, and he's younger. He's much younger, and talking to my brother, and I love my brother. But he's, there's not much you can tell him. Sorry, Brian. But what is the biggest piece of advice that you would offer a budding catcher that's really good, really talented? What's the most important thing when it comes to catching? The defensive part.
So, defensively, the biggest things that make you stand out are, your arm. Your arm can make you stand out as a catcher. Receiving today's world, everything's stats and all that, and now they have stats for how many pitches you steal, how many pitches you lose, and all that. So, I think defensively, receiving would be a major part, big key part, and you can always keep working. You should never be satisfied.
I always look at the catcher as the quarterback on the defense out there on the field, and I do because you have to call the game. What does it require to? And people don't really know baseball or like baseball, but don't really know the inner workings of it, don't understand what it takes for a catcher to manage a pitching staff. Because you and the pitching coach and the manager are essentially in charge of doing this. Talk about managing a pitching staff and the importance of it.
Yeah, so the Coach Doty's have been, they've let me call my own game ever since I've been catching for Viera High School, and I look at everything. The way he walks into the box, I can tell. How he takes the first pitch. If I go fastball away or something first pitch, and I see the way he takes it, I can tell if he was going to be on it. I could tell if he wasn't even going to swing, and I think that's something important because you want to be able to know like who you're pitching to, and you can see. I look at where he stands in the box. I look at his swings before he gets into the box. I know my pitchers. We've all it's like a family we have, and I know all of them. I know what they like to do. I know what they don't like to do. I know what they need to work on, and sometimes I'll in the games I'll make them work something they don't like to do just so they get better used to it. And no, I think it's definitely important. I'm thankful that I'm able to call my own games.
And the ability of a catcher to have his pitcher's confidence. Sometimes you'll hear, well, only this guy catches this pitcher. That's a compliment to a catcher, I think, with the relationship and the rapport that you have built. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Viera Hawks coming into your senior season. You guys were a little younger last year, lost to a more veteran Melbourne team. But look, you got them in the districts. And that's just the way that series has always gone. If you guys win districts, they win in the states, and if they win the districts, you win in the states. That's just Melbourne Viera baseball. But what is the expectation in your mind for this team this year? You've got some outstanding returning talent.
Yeah, I mean, with our pitching staff, we shouldn't be giving up many runs, and this is a team that's been playing together forever. And, most of these guys went to go and play in the Little League World Series and stuff like that. So, these guys know each other. They're all family. And, I've become a part of that family. And, I see us going far in this season.
You not only have you been selected to play in the ACG game, the area codes game, but the Under Armour game. I know that there's one I'm leaving out that you were recently selected for. What is that?
So that was the East Coast Pro.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so the East Coast Pro was super cool. We played in Hoover, Alabama, and that's like the top Florida guys. And so, yeah, more studs. Got to meet more studs, play against them. All the scouts. I mean, they're all sitting behind home plate. The guys pitching, the radar guards are going up. And they're all taking notes. They're looking at everything. They want to see if you're hustling. They want to see, just everything. They look at everything.
If I said to you right now, you're talking to a group of future standout baseball players that have opportunities to play in the area codes game or the Under Armour game, and I said to you, Alex, you got to give these kids 3 things that they need to focus on moving forward. Not position specific, but what 3 things would you tell them? You're talking to a group of 13-year-olds. What do you tell them? 3 things you tell them to prepare themselves to become better baseball players. What do you tell them?
One thing, to get selected for these events is you got to stand out. So you got to be doing something that others aren't doing. So you got to out-hustle them, work hard, out-hustle, give it all you have. A lot of it is energy. If you're playing with a lot of energy, you're going to have more success. And obviously what dictates, making these teams and all that, a lot of it is success. So you want to just keep working hard. Don't worry about, others around you. Kind of focus on yourself. Just make sure that you get better every single day. And yeah, that's it.
I tell you what, I'm excited for this game tomorrow night. I can't wait to watch it. It's on ESPN U tomorrow, I should say. It's on ESPN U at 2:00, and we'll keep you updated as we did with Riley when he was out at Dodger Stadium for that one. Big stuff going on. The catching in this county is unbelievable, and right here is simply just one of the best that there is, not just in this county, but anywhere. What do you consider to be your greatest attribute as a catcher? What do you think you do the best?
As a catch, my receiving definitely stands out, and just knowing the game, I can, when it comes to picking up the runners, I can tell when somebody's about to steal. And, I think it's definitely just like the IQ part of catching. I can kind of see things in advance before they happen.
All Alex is a 353 career hitter in high school. That's all. 353. Unbelievable. 495 OBP. And the reason I don't go over the stats constantly is because as you're watching this, you've obviously seen his stats and plenty of Alex's highlights. In last season, Alex batted .418, and then in his sophomore year, .320. That's unheard of for a sophomore to bat .329. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But .418 as a junior, it's even unbelievable. Alex, let's have a little bit of fun here. I know, you're still, after you peel back all the baseball, you still, was 17?
17.
17-year-old student athlete. So you like social media?
I do.
All right. So if I said to you, the world of social media is coming to an end tomorrow, and Alex Sosa, you can only pick one form of social media to move forward with. Would it be Snapchat, TikTok, or Twitter? And you can only have one.
Man, I don't know.
That's tough, but you can only have one.
Yeah, you caught me off guard with this one.
I know. I got you off guard with the next one too. Just wait.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a big media guy. You know, I think if I could only pick between Snapchat, Twitter,
Well, what would you pick?
and
I'm an old guy. Is there one I didn't mention?
Instagram,
All right. Is that what you would want?
it would either be TikTok or Instagram for me.
Oh, nope. Pick one.
One, all right. I guess it would have to be TikTok.
TikTok. All right. And I don't want to hear you didn't, because I'm pretty sure you did. As a kid growing up, and I mean a kid growing up, what kids show always got Alex Sosa's attention?
You know, when I was younger, I remember being a big Barney fan.
There you go. I like it. The big
Barney.
red dog.
No, Barney.
Oh, who's the big red dog?
That's Clifford.
Clifford, the dinosaur.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, Alan.
And I can't remember much about the show, but I remember.
But you remember being a Barney fan.
I was little.
I got you. All right. Pizza or cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger.
All right. What kind of cheese?
American.
What is your favorite? What is your favorite junk food? Like, if you could, you're done eating healthy for a week. It's Sunday. Sub, pizza, cheap. What is Alex Sosa going to feel fat and happy on a Sunday afternoon?
Chick-fil-A.
You guys in this Chick-fil-A, the entire student population of Brevard County knows the menu of Chick-fil-A. What's the go-to at Chick-fil-A?
So I'm getting a four strip meal,
Right.
with the 12-count nuggets.
Sauce.
I'm getting a lot of ketchups, and I'm going Powerade light ice.
I like it. Okay.
Yep.
Chick-fil-A. My goodness gracious. Final question for you, bud. This has been a blast. I've actually learned a lot. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself with as hard as you're working? 10 years from now, what will Brevard Sports Network be reporting about Alex Sosa?
Man, I mean, the dream is to play in MLB, so hopefully 10 years from now I'm there, and I'm with the team, and just having fun. That's just kind of the name of the game. If you're not having fun, then you're not gonna make it very far. So from 10 years from now, hopefully I'm just me 10 years older with just having fun playing baseball in MLB.
27 years old, already collected a Rookie of the Year, battling for that second contract. I can see it now. Alex Sosa. Who is your favorite MLB team? You got one?
Yes, I do. I'm a big fan of the Yankees.
This is where this conversation ends. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite Yankee?
My favorite Yankee is Alex Rodriguez.
Okay. I like A-Rod. And do you have an all-time favorite catcher? A guy that, if I said you had to pick a guy you would model your game after, who would it be?
I'm a big fan of Salvador Perez.
Okay.
Solid
catcher.
I see all these videos of him, and he's just out there having a good time. His personality.
That's you.
I feel like we have similar personalities. He's just having fun, and that's just kind of where I want to be.
And that's certainly, I'll tell you what, you're there now. And I'll tell you what, this has been a blast. I learned a lot from a technical standpoint. And again, tomorrow night, and you have seen all of these games pop up on your screen there. I keep saying tomorrow night, but tomorrow at 2 o'clock on ESPN U. It is the Baseball Factory Under Armour All-America baseball game at Kaufman Stadium in Kansas City. Do me a favor when you get out there, man. The fountains. Somebody snap a picture of those fountains from the field. As a kid, growing up, I just used to love, I don't know what it is about those damn fountains, but I really like those fountains in center field.
All right.
I don't know, call it weird. But Alex, I appreciate it, man. You have been awesome, super awesome to have into the studios, and good luck.
Thank you.
This season, and good luck in, because it's about to get really real now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that I'm a senior already. It's gone by super fast, but I've had a good time, and it's all been fun, so I've enjoyed it.
No doubt about it. I want to thank Caleb Brown, of course, and Pete and Christy and Olivia and the entire Sosa family, because it's been awesome. And, of course, I do also want to mention that we try our very best here to stay up on as much as we possibly can. And I got a text about 10 days ago from Brock Doty letting me know that Alex